My guest today is John Bryant, the online human mechanic for business owners wanting to improve their body image, self esteem, and energy through a client centered approach to fit their busy lifestyles. John says he's on a mission to empower entrepreneurs like you to thrive in both business and life. As a seasoned business owner myself, he says, I understand the challenges you face in juggling the demands of your ventures and personal well being. Subscribe to his newsletter on LinkedIn, the Peak Performance Playbook. He is at Coach_J_Bryant on Instagram, John Bryant on Facebook, John Bryant and J Bryant Coaching on LinkedIn. Connect with him there. Follow and connect with us here on the Dear Business Coach podcast on Instagram and Facebook. Message and email the show there and post your questions and join the Dear Business Coach public groups on Facebook and LinkedIn. Subscribe on YouTube and follow this podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Dear Business Coach, a Walker Consulting Works production. Write in your business coach emails and questions to dearbusinesscoach@gmx.com. Okay, John. Well, thank you and welcome to Dear Business Coach. And we have some exciting things to talk about today. And, we have had a lot of response this week about caffeine in particular. We're going to talk about energy management and exercise. And you have some things to share with us that feed from where we left off. Last time we talked, I had some questions about sleep cycles, and that was hugely informative. I've, listened to you talk about sleep cycles, but starting the day before with planning for your next day, what we're doing the night before we get ready, the night before a big day, or in general, how you track your caffeine and your energy management throughout the day.
Yeah.
Wow, what a big difference that can really stack up for you.
Yes, definitely.
Performance on a daily basis.
Yeah, but not just performance, but also your general health. People like, so we just take the sleep aspect by itself. Having a lack of sleep can be detrimental, not only just from a health perspective in terms of like low energy, and also leading to, potentially inflammation in the body, etc. But just on our business performance, like, if you make poor decisions, then in terms of, everything just takes longer. And it's like waking up on and your mobile phone hasn't charged. You ever done that where it's like you think, oh, why is it only at 30%? And then you go to work and you're just like, I just got to put it on power saver mode just to
Right.
maintain it for the day.
And once I pick up my phone and it's only at 30%, I need to start doing things. I need my phone to start running programs. I need to use my location services if I'm going to a meeting, getting in the car, going anywhere. And God forbid that have to happen because I won't have any battery by the time I get there.
Yeah. And then what happens during the day is we do nothing to then actually charge that mobile phone up
Right.
because we don't necessarily get the opportunity to do that, or we don't know the right strategy. So if we take it from a human perspective, um, what the first thing we probably do when we don't have a good night's sleep is we'll actually, over the course of the day, consume between 200 to 600 extra calories.
Say that
Also,
again.
so on a typical day where you've woken up and it's a poor night's sleep the night before, the average calorie intake, which is in excess of what you normally have, is anywhere between 200 and 600 calories.
Right. So just because default or because you're tired, you're making up for whatever you feel, you're reaching for energy.
Yeah, so this all comes back to the decision making. You wake up, you're tired, you go, okay, I've got to get to work, I've got to get myself sorted. You go for something which is nice and easy, which is generally carb based
Mm-hmm.
and generally in the processed carbs kind of form, and then your energy goes up, and then you come down again, crashing a couple hours later. Then you've got to feel, oh my God, I've got to pick myself up again. So you go for another carb intake hit, possibly even some caffeine on top of that. and it's just up and down, up and down, up and down all day. So over the course of a day, you've actually eaten 200 to 600 calories extra than you normally would had you had a good night's sleep.
Probably when we are reaching for a caffeinated drink, if it is that time of day where we're crashing, probably on the go.
Yeah, yeah. So you have to be very careful in terms of like what you actually go for. And what most people don't actually realize is that there is actually a natural solution which actually would have helped them had they sort of realized that this was a way to do it. And it's so easy. Everyone can do it. And it's such as simple as going outside and go for a walk in
Yeah.
the sunlight. Think of it like a solar panel. Go back to the phone analogy. If you could put your phone outside and the sun could charge it up, you'd do that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But from a human perspective, that's what we can do. We can get the recharge from going outside.
Well,
So
yes, and you're about to share with me, but tell us what the sun actually does, right? When we're exposed directly to natural sunlight.
well, it just makes us feel better
Hmm.
to start off with. But also, if you think about it, if you're moving, what are you doing in terms of your blood and oxygen supply?
Well, creating oxygen, generating energy. Your body does
You,
that naturally
yeah, you're
from
getting the flow,
movement.
but you're also getting the flow of blood and oxygen. What is the typical thing we do? So let's just say you wake up, you've had a poor night's sleep, you get ready, you go and sit in a car, train, bus, go to work. You then sit down for 8 hours. You then come back and it's either on a car, train, bus, and you sat down. You're not moving. So therefore, you're creating a problem in itself. Whereas actually, if you could actually go outside for as little as 15 minutes and move about, you would instantly feel better. Yeah, so interesting enough, you actually in an optimal way. Now, when I say optimal, this is like if you've got the time. If you haven't got the time, this may not work, or you may have to adjust your schedule accordingly. But in the when the sun rises, it will be an ideal time to actually get out for a walk anyway, regardless whether you've had a good night's sleep or a bad night's sleep, because that actually generally will help us elevate our energy levels. So if you could sort of time it, and obviously you've got your phone, you know the weather app, you know when the sun rises in your location, you can actually time it to actually go out 5, 10 minutes before that sunrise and actually take a walk. And as the sun is rising, you'll get a lift anyway. Then if you were to do it during the day, when you get the most amount of light, hopefully, it's not even a cloudy day or a rainy day, again, you could feel uplifted. And then at the end of the day, when the sun is setting, you know how you get like that red orangey sort of glow as the sun setting? Well, that's actually really helpful for us to actually signal to the brain and therefore the body that it's going to be time to go to sleep soon. So actually, if you can incorporate a walk around sunset, one, you get a lovely view, hopefully, of the sunset, but also you just get that orange light and that sensitivity in your brain goes, okay, so it's time we start winding down for the day.
Yeah. So there's something why those colors in a sunset are so pleasing and calming and pleasant to look at. So,
Yeah.
hmm.
Now, the only challenge comes obviously during the seasons. Because obviously, winter, you've got very short amount of daylight hours compared to summer.
Yeah.
So they bring their challenges. Obviously, if rise isn't say like in the UK right now, it's about 8:15, 8:30. Now, if someone that needs to be out the door at 7 o'clock, you're gonna have to kind of either get to work and go for a walk, but if that's not practical, you're gonna miss it.
Hmm.
And equally in the summer, if it's like the sun is rising around 4:45, 5 o'clock, do you really want to be getting up earlier?
Right.
Yeah, so it does kind of bring its own challenges, but it's a case of if you can do it and you can make it work for your lifestyle, and that's the most important thing is making it work for your lifestyle. It's not a case of like, hey, this is the best way of doing it, but I'm going to screw up my sleep part of the year to make sure this happens.
Right.
It's going to work for your lifestyle. If your lifestyle is you have a set pattern of work, then you need to make it kind of work within your lifestyle. This is why, like, if you have periods of the day generally that you can go out and get a walk, you're going to benefit anyway.
When we're talking about planning for a healthy night's sleep and you're building these habits into your day, that's going to make it easier for me to think about a routine in the evening. If I've gotten my what you told us last time about generating healthy melatonin, serotonin, and getting that in during the day, getting those balances in during the day. Can you review that with us? So when it's time to wind or for your body to wind down at night, you can
Yeah.
relax.
Yeah, so going over things, we want to get as much blue light during the day as we can because that will allow us to produce enough melatonin in the evening to be able to go to sleep. The problem is we will sit in offices, most of us, for up to 8 hours a day. Now, everyone thinks you might sit by a window and you're going to get good
That's
quality
me.
light coming in. Yeah. Actually, it's not the same as going outside. If you actually got a lumen lighter, so like it measures the amount of lux or the
Mhm.
amount of quality light coming in put it during in a general room, it'll be very small compared to being outside, even if there's no change in the weather.
Mhm.
So there is a massive advantage of going outside and getting as much as you can during the day to help you sleep in the evening.
You really need the outdoor experience, the oxygen, the natural light. So we can't really replace it, can we?
No, nothing beats being outside in nature.
Mhm.
However, again, it comes back to the how to make it work for your lifestyle. If you physically cannot get out, then it's better to have something, even if it's artificial, to help us sleep in the evening. It's not the be all and end all. It's better than having, say, medication for most people. There might be some people that need medication to help sleep, but for most people, natural sources of light or natural remedies or natural habits will do a lot more than having tablets to help us sleep.
Right. Well, and you had said before too, there are some things that are helpful as far as foods that we can think about. You had suggested dark chocolate, cherry juice,
Yeah,
maybe, and of course, things like we know turkey has tryptophan in it, but you had mentioned things that help our bodies like that. Um,
yeah,
and I had a listener ask me about certain types of milk. She said, for some reason I feel like I sleep better or sleep with less disruption when I have almond milk before bed. I get, that's a personal preference.
here's the thing that it could be. So we all know there are certain things that can definitely help us get to sleep. But if you come up with your own way and it works with you, and it can be as simple as a placebo effect.
Mhm.
And if it works for you and it works for anyone else, great. But it may not work for everyone. But essentially, if it does work for you and it helps you sleep, who would I be to say don't do that?
Right.
Because
Well,
because because
yes.
ultimately, like if you come up with your own strategies, then you're actually taking control. And if it works for you, that's what it's really all about, is making sure that it all works for you.
Yeah. Right. And if it's something you enjoy, maybe it's a comforting thing. I know it used to be, I think, uh, something when I was a kid, maybe have a glass of milk before bed. And that's maybe something that you're used to doing. It feels good. So some people have things like that and their foods in their lifestyle that they're fond of that like you say might just be a placebo effect.
Yeah. But equally, there is, challenges by eating or drinking late at night,
Yeah.
because that can lead to broken sleep. So, like, a lot of people may have this habit of drinking a pint of water about an hour or so before going to bed. But then what they find is they wake up in the middle of the night and need to go to the toilet.
Right.
So if they're doing something which is perceived to be healthy, i.e., drinking water, they then cause something a few hours later where they need to get up, turn on all the lights, go to the toilet, and then they have to try and get back to sleep again.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big challenge. That a few of my clients that I've worked with have had that, and I've just said, well, just have that glass of water a bit earlier, so you have that opportunity before you go to bed to utilize the bathroom and then get yourself off to sleep. So you actually have a much more undisturbed sleep.
Right. Well, and then I would say we probably just want to think too. I have a whole drawer full of different types of herbal teas, but some of those herbal teas can be a diuretic, can't they? If you're not careful.
Yeah. So you've got to look at it and go, well, what's going to be the right way of doing things for you? Because we all react to food and drink in different ways.
Yeah.
So there's no hard and fast rule that everyone should follow this plan.
We've kind of covered the basis, and if we really want to get to the nuts and bolts of it, then I need to schedule a one-on-one with you.
Yeah.
And so you're open for business, aren't you?
Yes. So I have a membership site which has just been opened for my clients, and I'm going to be extending that out to the world. It's a two-phase membership option. There's the one-to-one. So if you're someone that really wants to get quick results or say quicker, and you get more personalized coaching, then there's that option. But there's also going to be a membership only option, which is learn what you need to learn and apply it to yourself with a little bit of coaching for myself, i.e., like in group calls.
Do I start a meeting with you or do I go to your
Yeah.
membership site?
Yeah. So what I'd always suggest is before you sign up to anything, have a talk first, because the most important thing, certainly from my perspective, is I want to make sure that what you're signing up for is what you want and what you need.
Mhm.
But most importantly, I need to get to know you better, because I can't just say, hey, this is the right thing for you. I would rather have a 40-minute chat with you and go, okay, what's your biggest challenges? What's stopping you achieving this by yourself? Because then I can kind of guide you to where you need. Because if you're someone who's self-motivated and just needs the information and you can go do it, well, you're going to choose the membership side. If you're someone who actually I need personalized coaching because I need to be able to check in with you every week, well, you're going to go down the personalized route.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's always important to have a call. Um, so the way I always look at it is you're building the know, the like, and more importantly, the trust before you do anything else.
So your membership site and your one-on-one coaching are really easy to find by just going to your profile, your business page, LinkedIn, Instagram, your coach_J_Bryant on Instagram. And John Bryant, Online Human Mechanic, is your profile line on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
So are those good ways to chat with you?
absolutely. What I'll do as well off the back of this call is I will give everyone the opportunity to download a sleep optimization guide. And in which
Yeah.
case, there will also be the option to book a call there.
Awesome.
So once they downloaded it, they'll receive it in an email form, and then they'll have the option to book a call with me.
That's so awesome. Thank you for doing that. Fantastic.
Absolutely welcome. And if there's any like questions you or anyone else watching this has off the back of this, feel free to ask me.
Okay, John. Well, I'm so glad to have had you here, and my listeners are going to be new and different people by learning about you.
Thank you so much for having me today.